So let's talk about directed versus non-directed interviews. And they can occur in any type of format, whether it's one-to-one or group or panel, whatever type of format. But the idea is who's really controlling or directing the interviewer, the interview itself. So in a directed interview, let's look at that first. The interviewer has real tight control of how the interview flows. And that's typically how most interviews go. They lay out the process. They say, okay, I'm going to ask you questions, then you can ask me questions, then we'll talk about next steps, and they kind of walk you through. And then we'll go on a tour or whatever it might be. It's very directed. And it's like, we do this, we do that, and then we do this next. So they could be asking structured or unstructured questions as far as what's planned out for the questions themselves. But the idea is the interviewer has tight control over a directed interviewer. And it's really a good way to kind of have the process go smoothly and go fast and really talk to the candidates, with a lot of different types of questions and maybe in more detail instead of kind of floundering around and letting the interviewee be really directing of how the interview will flow. So the whole idea is to gather data for decision making, and so a directed interview or a style of that is where I'm going to tell you I'm going to ask questions and you answer questions and we're going to walk right through it. But as the interviewer, I have total control and I really run the interview. Sometimes the opposite of that is non-directed interviews. And the idea is the interviewer is allowing you to control the interview. And they might ask real broad questions, things like, so tell me a little bit about yourself is a very classic one, something that's asked in almost a lot of situations. So tell me a little bit about yourself. But then it keeps going from there. Or really just kind of real broad and left up to you. You might answer that, so tell me about yourself. And the interviewer might say, oh, well, tell me a little bit more. And that's it. I mean, it's really kind of open and letting you control it. Many times with these with these non-directed interviews, you might have a less skilled or inexperienced interviewer, somebody who's not comfortable or has the ability to take control, and they're really kind of leaving it up to you. Now, you might be thinking, well, that's great. Then I can really talk about what I want to talk about, which is true, as long as you do that and really then take control of the interview. But you can't seem like you're taking control of the interview. You kind of got to have that dance and work with the person. But if the person that you're interviewing with is really talking about the weather for 10 minutes or about the company in general, and you're not really getting to learn about you, that's where you need to kind of take direction and take that interview over a little bit and take control and say, well, let me share you about some ways I can contribute to the company, and really start going from there and really making sure that interviewer gets the data they need to make a decision, and also maybe pass you along for a next interview as well. So if you see somebody rambling or really just kind of unfocused on the interview, it might be just that they have lack of skill on that. So this is where your question prep ahead of time will really help you. You'll have these different stories that you want to talk about. You'll have these things you want to highlight in your career. You're able to answer these different types of questions. Ask yourself a question like that. Talk about one thing you might not know about me, but one of my best strengths is this, and then tell the story. And then they'll take notes. The interviewer will take notes and probably be real appreciative that you're taking control of the interview. So when you first start with an interview, and we'll talk later about the actual day of the interview and going through the whole process, but let them take control. Let them be, directing the interview. That's usually how it will go after some initial small talk and that kind of stuff. But if you find that it's not being directed as much, then there might be a non-directed interview, either by intention, to seeing your ability to control and lead a discussion, or it's non-directed usually because they just kind of have some lack of skill. Either way, you want to get your information out so they can make a great, intelligent decision about you, which leads to what we ultimately want, which is a job offer.